everyone, it's Ajanette, and I am here to go over your personal growth syllabus. I do have another video for your course orientation that takes you through how to navigate Canvas and kind of how I've designed the course. Keep in mind that that's great for navigational purposes, but I have changed our course a little bit, so I'll go over the specific requirements for our course in this video. In the syllabus, you're going to find in Canvas, you can access the syllabus through the syllabus page. All the contents is outlined in Canvas itself, but then there's also a link to a Word document. It's accessible on the home page. There's a link to the syllabus, as well as in the course information module where you see this video now. So I will tell you that for me, this is my absolute favorite course to teach. This course is really helping you to be reflective about who you are, what's contributed to you, who you are, and then to make intentional choices about your life and who you want to be and what steps you want to take to get there. And so we'll cover a number of areas, and I'll go over those in just a minute. I tend to approach this course from a very inclusive, non-judgmental, social justice oriented perspective. I very much will stand stand against racial injustice. I will definitely advocate for religious freedoms. I will definitely support, psychology is a science, so I'm going to support a scientific perspective. And I'm going to encourage us, sometimes we get sucked into kind of what our parents taught us or what the church taught us or what society tells us is right or wrong for us or for others. And I'm going to encourage you to kind of let those voices be silent and use this class as an opportunity to get in touch with your own voices. Figure out your own values and own those. I want to empower you to make conscious, intentional choices for the person you want to be, and I want to give you tools to help get you there. We will use one of my favorite textbooks, which is I Never Knew I Had a Choice by Corey and Corey, and they actually are one of my faves. So I'm referring to the newest edition, but feel free to use an older edition. I think the older editions are beautiful. Any new theories or concepts that are integrated, I will address those in the PowerPoints and the lecture videos. So feel free to buy an older edition. They're much more affordable, still valuable. I'd rather you buy an older edition textbook that you can keep and own for the rest of your life, as opposed to renting a newer version. Additionally, beyond the textbook, we're going to read a self-help book, and you'll choose from one of the 5 I have listed here. Notice they have very creative titles because I tend to be a very creative language user myself, but also the spirit of these really kind of emulates a lot of the values that I bring to the classroom and the ways in which I guide and direct my students. So they're very much in alignment with the themes of this course. I've outlined our learning modules here. For the most part, we're going to cover about a chapter a week. I do group chapters together. Notice I don't go in order. We actually start with chapter 10 because that is focused on work and recreation. And that aligns with the career paper, which is a student choice assignment. And I want you to be able to have time to meet with a counselor, develop an ed plan, which is about 25% of that paper, and really kind of be intentionally committed to researching your career and what major and skill sets are needed for that career. So I want to get that out of the way first to give you the semester to do that, okay? And then we're going to start diving into the chapters. So we're going to first start by talking about kind of foundations from childhood, from our early life experiences, and how those may have contributed to who we are today. Not to blame those experiences or to blame our parents or our childhood, but to recognize how those things influenced us. And then if we're not happy with those influences, to take responsibility for changing those things. Then we're going to move into wellness and stress, and wellness is so much more than just not being ill or the absence of illness. It's about your overall wellness. And what you learn about protecting your overall wellness is also going to be important stress management responses. So those things go hand in hand. You'll learn about love, authentic and inauthentic, and you'll learn about the foundation of self-love and how instrumental and important it is to our overall health and functioning. And you're also going to learn about relationships, how to build healthy relationships, how to maintain healthy communication, how to identify red flags and toxicity in relationships, and maybe know when to end those relationships. We're going to explore our own individual gender and sexuality from an inclusive, diverse perspective. We are going to move away from binary, cisnormative, and heteronormative ideologies about gender and sexuality. And we're going to create a much more inclusive space because gender is complex and diverse, as is sexuality. And I want you to be mindful that our culture and our society has placed very rigid definitions on what those two things mean. And that may or may not align with our own views, and it may or may not be consistent with other cultures. And so we definitely want to be open and expansive in our thinking and mindsets. We'll talk about loneliness and death, not from a grim perspective, but from a perspective of understanding how different periods and events in our lives can contribute to loneliness, but how we can leverage solitude for reflection and growth, and how even in death we can find meaning and purpose in life. And then we'll end with some tools to continue personal growth long after this class is over. So you have the dates outlined there, again about a chapter a week. I'm going to leave these learning outcomes to you to just kind of review on your own. These are set by the college. This is set by the psych department. Then these are for the course itself. And then I also have my own personal learning outcomes for you. I will always encourage you to be critical consumers of information, fact-based. We are a science in psychology, so we use the research to inform our views and our decision-making. I will also really impress upon you the importance of diversity across identities, cultures, expressions, lived experiences, and recognize that all of us bring value to the table. And then I will encourage you to be an advocate for yourself, for your family, and for your communities. So in the course, there's a total of 750 points, and that's broken into two categories: mandatory assignments that we all need to do, and then the other 250 points you get to choose. Think of it like a menu. These are your student choice assignments, and you choose which ones you want to do to add up to your extra 250 points. And then, or, maybe some of you decide, hey, I'm okay with a C in this class. Then you calculate how many points you need to get that C, and you make up the difference in student choice assignments. It's entirely up to you. But your mandatory assignments will include introductory activities. That'll cover 2 weeks. The first week is just getting to know me, the course, one another. The second week is really getting to know yourself and starting to engage in some introspection and self-reflection and identifying different aspects of who you are. Then we're going to dive into the modules, and each chapter will have a text assignment and a reflection activity. The text assignment is going to kind of guide you through key terms, concepts, and theories from the chapter that you should walk away from after your reading. And so you'll have to answer some questions to guide your reading. There's 13 chapters. You choose 10 of the chapters you want to do assignments for. The reflection activities are kind of hands-on applied activities. I use discussion forums in Canvas, so you are sharing out loud with the rest of the class those activities, but a lot of times you're creating something, you're applying something, you're doing something. It's much more meaningful. Then you have your self-help book club, which will be near the end of the semester, so I want you to be reading that along the way. We'll pair you up with individuals who are reading that same book, and you'll do a group presentation during finals week. You'll also have an exam You can do those exams at the end of or as many times as you want, because it's not about getting it all right. It's about processing the information in a meaningful way. So I don't want you to memorize. I want you to learn. And then you'll do a personal growth plan, which will be strategically reflecting on your personal growth goals and then outlining a plan on how you want to get there. That's the main 500 points. And then the other 250 points, you'll choose from any of these over here to the right. And there's a description of each of those. So you can get into, if you want to decide which of those you want to do, review all of them. You can see the career portfolio, the internship, service learning, campus advocacy. It'll go through all of them, okay? So you'll have a good description, read through those, kind of get an idea early on which ones you want to do. Maybe that'll be in your syllabus quiz as well. So peruse through those and see which one speaks to you. I want to give you flexibility so you can express your personal growth in a way that's meaningful for you. I do have some basic policies. The bottom line is, we're in an online class. Attendance is really, are you engaging in the material and the content? And it's critical, right? I do want you to recognize that you are communicating with others. So please practice appropriate etiquette. Be compassionate. Recognize people carry trauma, right? And just because it's not your lived experience doesn't mean it's any less powerful or impactful. So please come from a perspective of leave all your judgmental baggage, chuck it out the door, right? Open your heart and be gracious toward others. I would love just a t-shirt that says, the key to life is just don't be a dick, right? Like, just be kind and compassionate to others, and recognize that we all have different experiences. And then please, what happens in personal growth stays in personal growth, especially in an online class where there's documented, sharing, where you have this name is sharing this experience. This is for our learning benefit, right? I don't want you posting this on social media. This shouldn't be shared outside of this classroom. And that's a student code of conduct violation if you are taking this information outside of the class. So please be respectful of confidentiality. I want you to talk about what you're learning with others, but we can do that in a way that protects the privacy and confidentiality of our peers and colleagues, okay? As everything, this should be your own work. You should be generating your own content. Plagiarism rules do apply, but I have never had a problem with that in this class. I promise you, if you engage in the content, it'll be a meaningful experience for you. And then just resources available, and of course, I'm a resource too. So if you have any questions, please reach out through inbox. You can also send me a message through Google Chat. I'm ajanette101@gmail.com. Don't email me. Send me a chat message. Download the app on your phone. Send me a chat message. And there'll be an activity for you to set up your Google Chat. And then you also have my cell phone number. You can text me. You have my home number. You can call me. I am here. I'm accessible. And I'm committed to supporting your success and your personal growth. So reach out anytime. Welcome and enjoy.